Hello, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to continue on with our powered screwdriver series, and today we're going to take a look at the 4-volt DeWALT screwdriver. Now this one supposedly does not articulate or have a handle that changes. It's just a straight screwdriver. We're going to take a look at this thing and see how it works. First thing I will just take a look at here, they have some pretty good claims of torque, which we're going to be checking with our torque rig once we get this thing charged up. So far the best torque we've seen has been out of the Bosch Go 3, which is not available in the North American market unless you do some scrounging. We'll see if this thing can stack up against that. And if you're keeping track, this thing is made in China. Okay, so in the box you get some instructions. Nice. Won't be needing those. We get a nice USB-C cable, and I do mean nice. The insulation on this actually feels pretty good. I haven't had a lot of exposure to recent DeWALT products. I've bought into the Milwaukee battery line, which I'm not going to get into any arguments over one better than the other. It's kind of what batteries you buy. Get the tool out here, and we will get the tip set that they send out. Let's take a look at the tip set first. It's decent. You got a decent number of torques in here. Look like the more common sizes. You have a 1/4 and 3/16 straight and or standard or chisel tip. You have number 1, number 2, and number 3 Phillips, and you have number 1 and number 2 Robertson, which is, you know, that's a decent amount of bits to get you dangerous. Retention in this rubber isn't hard to get out, but it does seem to hold everything together, and they're the quality you would expect from DeWALT. Now the tool itself is actually pretty nice. It has rubber over this here. It looks like it has a battery meter here. Has adjustments here. Okay, so there we go. We can see our battery's low. I would expect that from shipping. And something that I really like, it has a collet to hold the tips in. That's something that I really like. Now, the operation of this, it appears there's no button to run it. You have to turn this collar. Let's get a better look at that. You have to turn this collar one way or the other. The center position here, it won't actuate. Turn it that way. It allows that piece to go in there, and turn it that way. Changes direction. Now let's listen to this. Sounds like we might have a different RPM depending on which direction we go, but let's get it charged before we get into that. Now let's just see if we turn that down. So this one seems like you have no change in what I believe is reverse. It won't change if you change it while it's running. But we'll play around with all this and see if there's different RPMs and different... It does seem like this has variable speed, which, aside from the Vessel's 3-speed, this will be the first one we tested that has speed control, which I think was something some guys were looking for. This is a more expensive unit, so maybe it's kind of expected that it has stuff like that. Now, as we saw, the battery is dead on this thing. Let's get it charged. And to do that, we're going to use our USB shop charger. This is a 8-port charger that we got off eBay. If you're interested in something like this, look for 8-port charger on eBay and you'll find something similar. Let's get our USB-C plugged in here and we'll see how much current this thing draws. So our USB-C, there is a nice rubber tab here that will flip open. There's our USB-C port. And let's get this thing plugged in. Now, we are plugged in. We're taking a whopping 2.1 amps, which is one of the advantages to USB-C over USB micro. You do get a lot more charging current, generally speaking, from USB-C. Now, while it's charging, we have a flashing light, and we'll see once it's done charging if that light progresses through. And while it's charging, the tool does not function. While it was running, we saw it had a light in the front to light up the workpiece. So let's let this thing charge, and afterward we will check the RPMs with our RPM socket. We will check the torque that this thing has and see if it can compete with the Bosch Go 3. You can see they're similar in size. And we'll check our weight and our RPM with the Veeder-Root. So already while this is charging, you can see the bottom bar is solid. Now it's the second bar flashing. That is telling me that this thing will show you its charging stages as it goes up, which is a nice feature. Okay, and we're back. So you can see here we are down to 0 amps of charging current, and that our tool has 3 solid lit bars indicating a fully charged battery. So let's get this out of here and get to testing. Now that we've got this thing charged up, let's see how it works. We do not have pressure operation like we saw with the Bosch and or Dremel products. Let's start off with taking a look at how this speed changing, we have 1 through 6. Let's see how that works. To do that, we're going to put our 7/8 socket with the reflective tape on it. Now I will say the tool here, you do not have to manually pull the collet back to get it to go in. I like that. There is a bit of play in it, but you still can't turn it on from that. That's interesting. I don't know if you can see the amount of end play in that. Don't know if there's a switch in there or how. So let's get down to it and start with our Veeder-Root and see if we can get some RPM readings. We'll start at 1. We will go in the Titan position. Here we go. So first gear, we have about 185 RPM, and first gear reverse, we have about 313. So I have a feeling we're going to see reverse not change. But here we go. Number 2, forward. $288. There you go. Let's go to reverse. Land it right on 314 again. Let's go to 3. Forward. So now we're faster, 340. Let's see what we have in reverse. About 314 still, 316. Going to speed 4. Forward. $340, so we didn't really gain anything speed-wise there. But it looks like we may have gained with the reverse. It's 320. So let's go to 5. Forward. Just about 350. Reverse. Still in that 330 range. Alright, here we go, all of it. Number 6. Right around, oh. Right around 350, and reverse. Right around 340. So, kind of some funny stuff going on there with the speeds, but overall this is one of the only ones that actually have a variable speed built into it, which is a really nice feature. Now let's see what happens with our torque. So we're going to reconfigure everything here. We're going to get our torque reading with our inch-pounds torque reader here, and hopefully I can hold this thing. So let's see what we can do. First round. Oh yeah, that's weak. That's like 4. Alright. 4 or 5. Let's go to 2. Up to 6. 6 or 7 I'd say is reliably where we're at. Go to 3. Up to 10 about. 9 or 10. Yep. Now mind you, this doesn't have a clutch. This is a stall out. We're in 4. 12. So while we didn't see a big change in the speed, I'm thinking we're going to see a change in the torque. Going to 5. Though we don't really see a huge difference. We're hanging around that 10-12 range. Going to 6, full speed. We get a 15. We're 14 or 15. Let's see what reverse does. So we're not seeing anything exponentially higher. We're seeing 14, 15 as the highest. Now let's take that and compare it to what we had as the highest with the Go 3 from Bosch. This thing was pretty strong. I mean, we can get up to 24 with it. 25. 24. I'd say this Bosch definitely has some more jam than this DeWALT. You're getting 14 to 15 out of it. So the Go 3 definitely has some more power than the DeWALT. You can see we're getting some numbers that are outliers. This isn't a 100% scientific thing, but I found it to be relatively representative, and if we use the same thing for every tool, it gets us in the neighborhood. So there we have 14 inch-pounds, which isn't too bad. What does this thing weigh? This thing weighs 335 grams. Now that is about the same, I think. A little bit more than the Bosch Go 3, which had been our heaviest. So the DeWALT has now taken the heaviest slot and is not the highest torque, which is interesting. Let's go for overall length. We have our 6-inch scale here. We're probably right around 8 inches long, so it's probably about an inch longer than the Go 3, which it checks out. Now our overall diameter, and we're like 1 9/16 nominally, which is a little bit more narrow. This is closer to 5/8. A little bit smaller back here, closer to 1.5 inches. Around our trigger, closer to 1.75 inches. Around there. So it's definitely a little bit bigger overall. I don't think this really feels bad in the hand. I don't know if this has that gyro technology in it or not, but I think overall this isn't a bad tool, but it is a pretty expensive one, even compared to this. If you have the DeWALT, I don't think it's a bad tool. I think, you know, it comes with a relatively basic set of tips, which are kind of run-of-the-mill, but they're here. They're decent. Let me know in the comments below, do you have this DeWALT screwdriver? Have you used one? Do you like it? Are there things that you don't like about it? Are there things that I've kind of glossed over with it? I mean, we have 4 LED lights on it, and the Bosch Go 3 kind of has the 2 in a lens. Are the lights a selling point, a breaking point? I don't know. That's kind of incidental. I'm not going to buy a tool based on that. It's just kind of a extra nice thing. What I can say is overall grip feel of the DeWALT does feel decent, but the Bosch Go 3 isn't bad. So I think between the two, I'd go with the Bosch Go 3. Realize Bosch Go 3 is not readily available in North America at this point, but even the price buying this from overseas was cheaper than this. So I don't think that the DeWALT's a bad tool. I think it's got plenty of uses, and of them, it's in what I would say the top tier that we've looked at so far, but I do think the Go 3 is a little bit better. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Are there traits about either of these that you really like or that you don't like? I'd like to know so we can talk about it, and maybe we can bring it up when we get to the comparison videos, really A/B'ing these tools and seeing in the practical tests which ones come out ahead. So as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.